private fund managers, pension fund managers, wealth managers of all sorts. They take their first steps into crypto via Uphold International's platform called Ascent.
So I'm joined today by Dr. Martin Heispoke. He is the head of research at Uphold, who has just added some support for the HBAR. Welcome, Dr. Heispoke.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's my pleasure. So to kick this off, can you just explain what Uphold brings and provides for the crypto industry?
There's a reason why we added Hedera first, and that is the focus on legality and compliance. Any crypto degen would tell you that Hedera is shit. It's too centralized, too business orientated. We want crypto anarchy and not your keys, not your coin, and all that stuff. But for this to be adopted by the mainstream tech community, for blockchain and crypto to become a fixture, they can't be constantly disrupted by bad actors. People stealing money from software bridges, people losing their own keys. I mean, the whole user experience of crypto still today in almost 2025 is pretty shitty. Right? Recently, I came across, and somebody sent me an email and said, if you want to join our trial, here's the easy 38 steps to get where you want to be. So that's DeFi for you, 38 steps into you. God beware if you get one step wrong. So we realized very early on that user experience was going to be key. And Uphold built a fantastic back engine that we do not advertise this enough. I don't know why. I have to ask the marketing people. But it's got a feature called anything to anything. So whatever we have, and that is now the mainstream crypto, some very choicey alts that we try to discover very early always, and some popular meme coins. So we are a platform where you can buy and hold and trade these tokens, but we make it easy. Our engine has a feature called anything to anything. So if in the future we have tokenized stocks and bonds and tokenized gold and other metals, you can then in one click swap your silver holdings, your tokenized silver, into HBAR. And what really takes 3 or 4 or 5 steps in the background for you is only one click. And this is what we've built over the past 10 years, a fantastic trading engine that is now being appreciated by institutional clients a lot. We have over 100 big institutional clients. These are private fund managers, pension fund managers, wealth managers of all sorts. And they take their first steps into crypto via Uphold International's platform called Ascent. And as soon as we opened Ascent and talked about what tokens we would make available to big institutional clients, we asked them, what would you like? And the immediate answer from them was HBAR. So there's definitely awareness and there is demand, right? Not everyone is a maxi of something, and Uphold certainly isn't. If we are a maximalist in anything, then it is the interoperability maximalism. We believe that there should be 1,000 different chains, but they should all be able to talk together. And the messaging system, the scalability, the ease of use, and of course the governing council of Hedera. I was pretty awestruck when I saw that the first time, who is on the governing council of Hedera. So there are lots and lots of people who are in blockchain, but don't necessarily want anything to do with this wild crypto space, right? Who do not trade meme coins and only in it for the fiat gains. And on the other hand, you have the maxes, like the Bitcoin maxes and everything. Bitcoin is the only network and everything has to be built on Bitcoin. We don't belong in that camp either. So what we are trying to do is find the best new assets, proven assets, and that has invariably led us down the path of, through my background as a data and computer scientist and mathematician, is the idea of using graphs in blockchain technology. And there are different forms of graphs. There are different applications of graph, but lots of good projects have them and use them. Avalanche uses them. Hedera uses them, and they have a hash graph. I think they are difficult. I found them always very difficult to make things work with graphs, but they are infinitely superior, right? So if you use even a layer, a second tier, so from that perspective, I put down together, when I joined Uphold 4 years ago, I made a list of things that I thought were important in the blockchain space, and one of them was obviously, from my point of view, already Hedera, because they managed to do something that nobody else had, and then always stay on the right side of the law. And if necessary, you sacrifice decentralization. You get hacked, you throw an off switch. What makes degens or real crypto fans shudder this idea of having an off switch might, in fact, for businesses might not be the worst thing to have before you lose all your funds.
Understood. Now, you explained, why you thought Hedera and the HBAR was something good to add for the Uphold platform. What is Uphold going to provide for the HBAR economy?
Well, first of all, we give access to HBAR to our selective clientele. These are fund advisors, wealth advisors who may hear about it for the first time. But this is about HBAR being added to Vault. So we have to go back to the idea that Uphold was founded upon is radical transparency. I don't know of any financial institution in the world who has a web page that shows all our assets and liabilities in real time, updated every 2 minutes, I think. I don't think any bank, any financial institution in the world shows you their books that freely. You can always check how many coins we own, how many coins we owe. And that transparency has led to our popularity amongst more serious elements in crypto, right? People who want to make blockchain work for the real economy. And by supporting Hedera in the vault, we're also showing our commitment to this multi-chain future. And the vault itself, if I may go on to describe this a bit, the focus for us has been user experience, right? So, and the user experience of completely decentralized self-custody is pretty terrible, considering that around 20% of all funds in crypto may have been lost irrevocably because of errors with keys and stuff. I know I myself lost some Bitcoin in the early days because, the whole idea of having to sit down, write them down on a piece of paper, do not store these words on your computer. It sucks. So we came up with Uphold Labs came up with a solution, and that is Vault, which is assisted self-custody. So we cannot access your funds. They are yours. But if you lose a key, we got a backup of a third key that then allows you to open the vault again. But we never have access to it. It's quite an ingenious concept. And I have to say, when we first talked about it, I thought nobody's going to want that. You're either a degen and you do not your keys, not your coin, or you love the platform where you trust the company with the money. But why would you have something in between? And I was proven thoroughly wrong by the success of Uphold Vault. User growth from day one with Bitcoin and XRP has been spectacular. People love it because it gives you full control over your funds. You don't even have to move them. You take them out of the vault and you can immediately trade them in the Uphold app. But when they're in the vault, they are then effectively in cold storage, and we don't have nobody else but you has access to them. And it turns out people love it. So since our BTC vault and our XRP vault were such huge successes, we then made a list of what do we need to add. And on top of it was, of course, Hedera.
That's great to hear. And one thing that's really refreshing to hear is somebody admitting that they were wrong and moving in the right direction again. That's something that you don't often see. We appreciate that in this space. Now,
I'm an academic. Science is about finding the truth. And if you want to find the truth, you have to admit the many, many times that you are wrong.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Now, you mentioned real world assets. You mentioned interoperability. What are some of the most important trends, in your opinion, that have you most excited that are going on right now in the crypto space?
I'll tell you what's not got me excited. And that is the horrible danger of this Memecoin circus. They do have a function, right? The popularity, it's a bit of fun. They're the only thing that we don't really care what the SEC thinks about them. We all know their shit. And I get it that a gamified young generation loves them, right? They represent real characters, like you learn to love them in a comic strip, right? We just listed on Uphold Simon's cat. Coincidentally, our CEO is called Simon. So ever since he's had a cat, Simon's cat, which is actually based on I think a comic novel or something, comic strip. So I get that culture element, but by and large, meme coins aren't really progressing blockchain technology while siphoning off so much money into totally pointless projects. I'm a builder. I like to build things. I love every new blockchain project that comes along that does something nobody else has done before. I also realize that many of them will go nowhere, but for me, it's always been about the technology, and that is that's what doesn't excite me. This meme coin circus siphoning off so much of energy and manpower and money from real serious projects. Be that as it may, there's plenty of things to get excited about, and one of them is that we now have some clarity on regulation with MiCA starting in January in Europe. People, the regulators, the governments are starting to understand that this is a technological sea change and not a matter of whether crypto or not is a casino or not. We are learning to separate the blockchain technology from the crypto hype. I'm actually going to Basel in Switzerland tomorrow to talk to people from the Swiss National Bank about the upcoming stablecoin project. Right, so Switzerland is the first country in the world that's going to release its own currency as a CBDC slash stablecoin slash crypto asset slash whatever. Who cares, right? The point of easy user experience is for the difficulty, the complexity of the technology to disappear behind a nice shiny interface. That's why Apple is worth $1 trillion, right? Not because of what type of chip they have in there. Nobody cares anymore what type of computer chip is in your phone, right? All you care about is how you use it. And in blockchain, we are still at the stage, like, I don't know if you're too young to remember the early PC days when you built your own PC and you were fighting, I got a Pentium 2, I'm upgrading to the latest RAM. Oh, I can only afford 16 RAM instead of 32. And we all cared about what's in the case, and we chose the case. It had to be a flashy case. All that's gone, right? People don't do that anymore. You just buy a device and you expect the device to work out of the box. The same has to happen in blockchain. Right now, we are in this early PC age where you cared what was inside the box and you tinkered with it. We are moving in the next 5-10 years. We're going to move to really novel forms of interaction with computers through AI. Right? Computers are learning to understand our language. It should never have been the way we spent the last 40 years, us learning a programming language to tell the machine what to do. That's ridiculous. Why should I have to learn its language? So all of these C++ and the Fortrans and the COBOLs and the Solidity and Rust and Move and all these programming languages, I should just be able to sit there and tell the computer in my language what I want it to do, and it should write the code for it. And we finally arrived there, right? That's what's got me most excited about in AI. And any blockchain that works, that understands how radically different our interaction with machines is through AI plus blockchain. I think that's the most exciting development for the coming years. You to interact with a blockchain with voice commands. Can you imagine? Can you telling your machine go to Uphold, buy 1 Bitcoin this weekend? It's we are there. We are there where we start what we see in science fiction movie: people standing in front of transparent screens with the news on them and talking to the computer, and the computer understands everything. They're getting really good at that and translating. So Hedera is one of these projects that has a lot of interest into the direction of AI. They just did a deal with Casper Labs, the validators. Casper Labs is now called
Prove AI.
Prove AI. That's it.
And
Prove
it's
AI on
going to be
Hedera.
built
I got
here on
used to
Hedera.
all. The only constant thing in blockchain is everything
Always
changes once a month.
I think that the things that you are excited about are going to be sticking around. Dr. Lehman Baird, his doctorate, I think, is actually in machine learning and AI. So, we're moving a lot in that direction, including with Prove AI. The things that you aren't so excited about with meme coins, I think it was the regulatory environment, because they were kind of in the clear as far as the SEC, at least here in the United States. And that's where people gravitated. But I think now that that has cleared up a little bit, and we're starting to see some more clarity around that. People are going to now move back over to where the utility and where the real value should be, and really where the capital should go, so we can have a lot more innovation in our space. But Doctor, thank you so much for coming on today and talking about Uphold, how you're integrating Hedera, and of course, thank you for supporting Hedera.
You're welcome. Happy to be part of the Hedera community. What are you called? The Hederians?
Early on, I was trying to push for the Hederians, but now it's the HBAR variants have pretty much won out.
Go barbarians!
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR weekly update. So check them out.